It is very black cat girlfriend, golden retriever boyfriend. Ironically, also had a hurricane. Wonderfully antagonistic relationship. So excited. But the petty part of me is just really excited. So it's not gonna stick up here. Nat of like 5 years ago. Shook that I just said that. Hey y'all, it's Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today. And for this video, we are gonna be doing my book haul and unhaul for the end of 2025. Alright, so before we get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments what was the last book that you hauled in 2025. Alrighty, so officially closing out fourth quarter, I really did my best last year to focus on reading down my own TBR, and overall I do think I did fairly well. But even still, this haul is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be. Thankfully, I didn't spend a lot of money on these. I think a good few of these are gifts or like little free library hauls or books I actually got from Josh. Even though I am adding to my TBR, at the very least I wasn't spending as much money. I think let's go ahead and start at the top with the books that I've already read for this haul. First one was a Christmas present from my friend Kat, and that is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. I read this one, it's been a few years now, but I really liked this. It is a dual timelined thriller where we are following this young woman who has just entered college, and then on the opposite side we are following this professor who punishes terrible men on her campus in creative ways. I really liked this. I loved the good for her element of it, so I've been wanting to have a physical copy of it and actually reread it, so shout out to Kat. Thank you. No, I can do that. Next up is Flirting with Disaster by Nina Kumar. I read this one for my Buns and Roses project in 2025 and really enjoyed it. So when I attended Buns, I knew I wanted to get my hands on a copy. This is a second chance romance between this couple who is actually married but have been separated for like the last 6 years. She travels down to Houston in order to get him to finally sign the divorce papers, unrealizing that a hurricane is coming in. So then she is trapped there. Super cute, a lot of fun. I loved the yearning between these two, and I really recommend this one. Then I have The Lady Sparks a Flame by Elizabeth Everett, which I feel like I have not shut up about since I read it because I loved this. If you like Ellie Hazelwood's STEMinist stuff but you want historical romance, may I present to you Elizabeth Everett. This was actually on my most surprising books of 2025. I loved it. It was so good. Phoebe is a woman who has actually been an outcast of English society and has recently returned after her father's passing to try and help her mother and sister take care of the estate and all of the affairs. But while she is there, she ends up sparking a bit of a friendship with Sam, who is basically trying to purchase a bunch of items as well as possibly this house to open a museum of like curiosities, because he is super determined to become a successful businessman, and a great relationship develops between the two of them. It is very black cat girlfriend, golden retriever boyfriend. So much fun, so cute. A little bit of a mystery pops up at the end, but this is really just revolving around the relationship between these two, and I loved it. Then I also grabbed Ghost Business by Jen DeLuca. Also read this one for Buns. Met her, she was super sweet. This is the second in the Boneyard Keys series, which is a romance series set in this little haunted coastal town. And here we have competing ghost businesses. Sophie is very dedicated to being historically accurate, whereas on the opposite side, Tristan has a ghost business that is more about good times, ridiculous stories, and just having fun. So of course, the two of them end up butting heads against each other because, I mean, it's a small town. There's not a lot of room for two ghost tours. But unfortunately, the ranting between them also eventually turns to flirting. Sophie realizes Tristan is not such a terrible guy, even if he's not accurate. And this one was super cute. Ironically, also had a hurricane. Then I grabbed Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This was actually a book club pick for, I want to say September, on my Geek Squad book club, and really enjoyed this one. It's a haunted house story where we are following Cleo, who she and her sisters have just recently inherited this house that they used to live in with their mom when they were kids, but they've all been estranged from their mom for years. She's recently passed, so she decides to stay at the house, is planning to fix it up and kind of flip it, sell it, but maybe her mom wasn't so crazy, and perhaps the house actually might be haunted. I really liked this one. I liked the character work that was done here. I think Harrison does such a great job of doing like cozy horror. I loved that. There were some really unsettling moments in this one, even though it's not like over the top scary. And I really enjoyed this book within a book scenario because her mom actually wrote a novel about the time when they were living in that house, but the copy Cleo is reading is actually specifically annotated by her mom. I actually don't think the reading vlog I read this for has come out yet, so keep your eyes peeled for it. Then we have Power Unbound by Freya Marsk. This was one of my best books of 2025. Loved it. My friend Kat, I think it was Kat, was very kind and sent me a copy for my birthday. Super cute, queer romantasy with like a solid mystery going throughout. This one is following Jack and Alan, who are from very different societal circles, but turns out they have more in common than they think. They have a wonderfully antagonistic relationship. It is so much fun. There's so much banter, so much aggressive flirting, the spicing, but also the fantastical mystery finally wraps up here, and it is so much fun. Then my friend Allie was kind enough to send me A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers for my birthday, and this one also was one of my best books of the year. This is the second in the Wayfarer series where we are following Lovelace, who we had previously met as an AI, but now she has a body. And she ends up traveling with her friend Pepper to kind of try and find a new normal for herself, a new happiness because of some of the events from the first book, what I can't talk about. But on the opposite side, we see the perspective of this young woman named Jane, who was unfortunately bred to be free labor and has now escaped and is trying to escape the planet she is on as well. I really loved the character work in this one, the parallels between these two women and the experiences they're going through. The talks of bodily autonomy in this were phenomenal. The relationships, the found family in this series so far is just really hitting for me, so I can't wait to pick up the third book. Those would be the ones I have already read, but of course, I do still have a good few I haven't read yet. When I grabbed Play Nice, I also grabbed Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. I was midway through reading this author's debut work and had to put a stop to it whenever the D&D readathon started, but I'm really excited to get to this one. I don't actually know what it's about. Lucy's twin sister Sarah is unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse recently discovered on her husband's grand estate. Hello, that sounds wild. To protect her sister from a terrible fate in a lunatic asylum, Lucy must unravel the mystery surrounding her sister's condition. But it's clear her twin is hiding something. Then again, Lucy is harboring secrets of her own. Okay, I'm into this. This sounds fun. Honestly, I won't even lie to you. This was a cover sale, and then I believe it's sapphic, same as the author's prior book. Plus, I love these edges. So next up, Shay over at Anna Shade, I'll put a link to her in the description, was kind enough to send me Forest for the Trees by Kilby Blades. This is actually set in the same universe as Penny Reid's Winston Brothers series. Kind of like, actually not just the Winston Brothers, like all of her series I feel are set in the same universe. The Green Valley universe, I guess you could say. Looks like it's a romance between a federal fire marshal and a ranger. Honestly, I just think it's super fun that Penny Reid has like sanctioned fan fiction set in the same universe as her own work. That's so cool. A majority of the authors who participate are indie authors, which is just so awesome of her. I'm really intrigued to try out some of this stuff. I think Shay also owns a copy of this, so we will be buddy reading it, and I can't wait. Next two are books that I did pick up at the Buns and Roses event, but these were mystery books or blind dates with a book. So I got Men on Fire. This is a collection by Susan Lyons, Rochelle Chase, and Jody Lynn Copeland. Honestly, the tag made me believe it was probably going to be hot firefighter romance, and I was like, okay, sold. Sounds like a good time. And then the next one is Reckless Memories by Catherine Cowles. This one was a romantic suspense, I believe. Oh, and it's signed. I didn't notice that. That's so cool. Oh, here we go. I thought I saved it. Okay, Destroyed Love, Picking Up Pieces, Unexpected Danger. Yeah, so this sounds like it's going to be a fun time. I'm intrigued. It seems like it had pretty good reviews on Goodreads as well, but I've never heard anybody talk about it. Sounds up my alley though. The rest of these I also grabbed at Buns. First up was Naina Kumar's first book, Say You'll Be Mine. I believe this one's like a engagement of convenience sort of thing. Oh, and it looks like it's Grumpy Sunshine, so right up my alley. I've heard a lot of positive things about this one. I'm very excited to try it out. Then, because I had to, I grabbed the first in the Damsels of Discovery series by Elizabeth Everett, The Love Remedy. This one is following Lucinda, who I think she's a chemist. Oh, and their single dad with the love interest, who is a private investigator, Jonathan. I'm so excited. Really, really hoping I will love this one just as much as I love the second in the series. Then I had to grab Ruined by the Bachelor Marquess by Cecilia Renee. I loved the third one in this series. I read the third from the library, bought the first one in 2024, so I had to grab this one in 2025. Very excited for this because it's a second chance romance, and we actually get to see like the initial first time these two had a relationship in the first book, but some dramatic events at the end of that one caused these two to break up, and now, unfortunately, Julia is still suffering from the gossip after being left at the altar at the end of the first book, but on the opposite side, Henry is still dealing with the mental and physical scars off of the events from the first book. So I can't say too much, but I'm so excited to get to this. For Christmas, my friend Allie sent me Cultish by Amanda Montell, The Language of Fanaticism. I've been meaning to get to this for years. I feel like it had its time on booktube where everybody was reading it, everybody was intrigued about it, and I just never got around to reading it. So shout out to Al. Now maybe that it's on my shelf, it'll actually happen, especially seeing as how I'm a big fan of kind of breaking down cults. I think this will be really interesting, especially when it comes to like the language and rhetoric that they use and how that element can connect other things that aren't technically cults, but like they have some cultish elements like MLMs. Been on a big anti-MLM kick as well. Shout out to Hannah Alonso. I'll put a link to her in the description. Please go watch her. I love her stuff. But yes, especially watching so much of Hannah's stuff, I've really been even more excited to pick this one up. On the opposite side, my friend Molly got me at Men, Women, and Chainsaws by Carol J. Clover. So excited to get to this. It is a nonfiction work specifically focusing on the culture around horror films from, I believe, the 70s and 80s. Yes, and this book did also coin the term final girls. So that's super cool. Can't wait to get to it though. Next one, for my in-person romance book club, we had a Christmas party, and every year we do White Elephant with our favorite romance of the year. And so I ended up getting Love at First Spite by Anna E. Collins. I think the person I got this from said it was very entertaining in that the main character gets left by her fiance, and they had like just purchased a house, but she ends up purchasing like the lot of land next to it and is determined to like ruin his beautiful view. But she ends up kind of developing a bit of a relationship with, I think, her contractor, her realtor, something like that. But it sounds like it's going to be very entertaining. Hopeful I will enjoy the romance as well. But the petty part of me is just really excited for the fun antagonism. Next up are a few that I actually got from Josh. So first up is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I don't think I need to talk any more specifics about this. I've been wanting to reread this for quite some time now. Shout out to everybody in the Lair, Jan Agaton's Patreon, because they were the ones that really sparked this. Specifically Tiffany. You know this is your fault. But I'd never seen this old school copy that he had, so I'm really excited to kind of go through and annotate the ever-loving crap out of it. And then I also grabbed The Green Mile Part 4 by Stephen King. I don't really know how this works, if I'm being honest. Is it like one book broken down into numerous? Or I've never read any Stephen King. However, I think that'll change this year. So it felt appropriate to grab this one. Then we have a whole slew of Star Wars books that Shay at Anna Shay was very kind and sent me for Christmas. I can't wait. I believe all of these are in the Legends section, which obviously I'm currently focusing on canon, meaning they probably won't get read for a while, but I love the covers if nothing else. So first up we have Star Wars Volume 3 of a 3-book cycle, The Last Command by Timothy Zahn. Oh hey, Timothy Zahn. And then we have Star Wars Shadow of the Empire by Steve Perry. Yeah, I'm not going to read the back of any of these because like I said, I probably won't read them for a while, so it's not going to stick up here, and unless you're a giant Star Wars nerd like myself, you probably don't care. We've got Volume 1, Heir to the Empire, also by Timothy Zahn. Oh, okay. These might go together. And then, okay, look at her. She actually did all of them. So then we have Volume 2, Dark Force Rising by Timothy Zahn, and I really like this cover. There's all 3 of those. And then there is Star Wars Book 3 of the Black Fleet Crisis, Terrance Test by Michael P. Kube McDowell. That was a mouthful. Also love this cover. And then she sent me a Star Wars activity book, which is just hilarious. I'm so gonna like pull some of these out and put them in my journal. There's some stickers in the middle too. Oh my god, I can't wait. That's so fun. And then lastly is a journal for Darth Maul, which that's very intriguing. Okay, these last 2 are actually the only 2 books I got for Christmas from my family, which is shocking, but at the same time probably a good thing. I guess they're hearing me when I say I'm trying to get this number down. So first up is The Entanglement of Rival Wizards by Sarah Rush, I think is how you pronounce this. She has another queer romance series that was really popular there for a minute. It was like The Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that, and initially I was so skeptical. It sounded ridiculous and corny, but I feel like I've only heard amazing things about it. Then I saw this series, which is like a fantasy college alternate universe sort of thing, and then it's got a queer romance in it, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. Both of these characters are going for a grant, and one is a human, one is a half elf. Very excited. She has another one coming out. I think it already should be out by now. I'll pop up a picture because this looks hilarious and adorable. I cannot wait to start this series. It sounds so up my alley. Then my parents got me She, insert word that the algorithm doesn't particularly like, by Skip Hollandsworth. So it's a true crime nonfiction that's a collection of different crimes committed by women in Texas. Definitely will be picking this one up next time I'm in the true crime mood. Okay, so that stack is actually taller than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll show that in a sec. But we do have to talk about my unhauls. And unfortunately, I really don't have that many. First up is going to be Best Text Ever by Nadia Alfazi. I read this one in October, and while I did like it, it is cute. I just don't really see myself rereading this one. It's very insta-lusty. I mean, the spice is spicing, like it's good, but again, I don't see myself rereading it. I also decided to kick off Chanel Bonfire by Wendy Lawless from my TBR because whenever I was reorganizing my TBR shelf, my nonfiction shelf was overflowing, and I was like, okay, let me be a little bit meaner and really say, what books do I not think I'll read? And this was one of the first ones I looked at. And kind of the same thing for this next one, The Invention of by Judith Flanders, How the Victorians Reveled in Death and Detection and Created Modern Crime. Well, this does sound very interesting. This book is freaking giant. I didn't know it had pictures. Dagnabbit. Now I'm more intrigued. Oh my, actually, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, this might actually get put back on because like this much is just notes. So the book's only like 466 pages. Not of like 5 years ago. Shook that I just said that. Okay, maybe this one will stay on there, but I'm definitely gonna need to check out if there's an audiobook because this is still a chunky girl. And then this final one, I am still very much back and forth on whether or not I'm going to keep it, and that's gonna be A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. I love the first book. I love the appearance of this second book. This inside was a letdown though. It was on my most disappointing of 2025, which is why I don't really want to keep it on my shelves because I'm never gonna reread this, I can guarantee you. It's so pretty. I mean, like, come on. I don't want to unhaul this, but like having it on my shelves just kind of bums me out. So I still haven't officially made a decision about that, but chances are I probably will be unhauling it. All right, so sadly, this is about it for the unhaul. This is it for the actual haul. Oh, thumbnail shot. Oh my god. Ah! More than I would have liked, and it's not even all of them. So that's a bummer. I'm really gonna try and focus on reading these babies down this year. I say again, we'll see how that goes. So on that note, that's officially it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you gotta leave a stack of books emoji in the comments. I've got links to all my socials, as well as a few ways you can support me down in the description. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!